Hey everyone, Rob here from Gunfather Milsim, and today we're going to talk about pistols, airsoft pistols in particular. Now, my take on pistols is a little bit different than a lot of airsoft players. Right now there's a huge push for HPA pistols, especially modified with rifle magazines or drum magazines on them, and this is being pushed by Speed QB and just airsoft CQB fields in general. Why are people going to that platform? Why is everybody moving to pistols and HPA pistols? Well, because they're effective. They're really effective. Real world shooting handguns, the hardest thing about shooting a handgun is recoil mitigation. And in airsoft, there basically is no recoil. And a lot of people will disagree with me on that. It does not compare to real world recoil. And shooting a pistol, real world, is extremely difficult just because of the recoil. Well, when you don't have that in airsoft, and when there's no difference between the actual projectile coming out of a pistol versus projectile coming out of a rifle, as far as airsoft's concerned, there really isn't a lot of advantages to using a rifle in airsoft specifically, especially when you got HPA and you're using those larger magazines, and you don't have to reload as much. I mean, you can have a 1,500 round drum, for Christ's sake. So that's why so many people are switching to that platform, because honestly, it's really effective. And when you're using an airsoft pistol, you can really maximize your use of cover, both on your strong and weak side, because you don't have to worry about switching shoulders or anything. It's just very effective, and you can really maximize that cover. The way I treat airsoft pistols is exactly like I treat them in the real world. This is a secondary weapon. It is not my primary weapon. It is an oh shit weapon. If I'm pulling my handgun, a lot of things are going wrong. So let's talk for a second about holsters. Most airsoft players focus on the pistol, and they don't really think about the holster much, and honestly don't spend a lot of time getting a good quality holster, when the holster is as important as the pistol that's in it. Airsoft, when you're using a pistol as a secondary weapon, it's going to spend most of its time, 99% of its time, in the holster. So you got to have a good holster that allows you to draw the weapon quickly, but secures the weapon securely and protects it from the elements. For my purposes, I use the exact same holster in airsoft that I do real world on SWAT. Okay, Safariland ALS, it's an excellent holster. And when I'm shopping for airsoft pistols, my main concern is, does it fit in this holster? Because yeah, there's lots of Glock replica airsoft guns out there, but they're not all exactly one-to-one, and when it comes to a fitted holster, it can be tricky to find one that fits exactly in this holster and allows the retention to still work. So for that purpose, I use my Safariland ALS and a Glock 17. I believe this is an Elite Force. I've had other models. I really don't care. As long as it fits in this holster and it works well and it goes bang every time I pull a trigger. I don't spend a lot of time, I don't upgrade these at all. I leave them bone stock, I run them for 5 years, and I'm done. I get like 1 or 2 pistol kills a year, if that, because I just don't employ my pistol that much in airsoft. So, you want a good holster with good retention that you can draw quickly. Now, I did a video on dry drills where we talked about using your handgun and doing a nice, steady, consistent draw, and it has to be fast and all that. But realistically, it doesn't really matter. In airsoft, you're not going to have to do this that much. If you're using your handgun as a primary, it's going to be out the whole time. It's not going to be in your holster. Okay? Now, if I'm using my handgun as a secondary, my hands aren't going to be free when the party starts. I'm going to have a rifle. So, we're going to throw on my ICS M4. I'm going to speak real quick about how we're going to transition to this handgun. Now, first off, when am I going to transition to my handgun when my rifle goes down? Well, if my threat is close, I mean within 15 yards, and I don't have any cover, that is the only time I'm going to transition this handgun. Otherwise, I'm just going to go behind cover and reload behind cover. Understand? So if I'm here, gun goes dry, rather than do that reload, draw, finish up the threat, check, make sure everything's cool, pick this gun back up before I put this away, just in case something pops up. Then I'm going to holster, and I'm back in the fight. Now you'll notice with this 1-point sling, which is what I usually use in airsoft, if I got a transition, I just let it drop and switch. Now, some people don't like the gun swinging and hitting them in the groin. Totally get that. Not a big deal. All you're going to do different is you're just going to hold on with this hand, and once you go dry, you're going to guide it down. It takes a second longer, but it guides that gun off to the side. The problem with the 1-point is it naturally wants to swing down, hit you between the legs. If I'm using a 2-point sling, it gets a lot easier. So if I have a 2-point sling, when I drop a 2-point sling, it naturally slides off to my side like that, which is really nice, but I don't typically use a 2-point sling when I'm playing airsoft. So here I am, bang, 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 and there we go, we do our transition. Once again, bang, 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 goes dry, Here we go. So that is usually how I'm going to use a handgun in airsoft. It's going to be some sort of transition in that manner. So if I'm on cover and I'm engaging a target, my primary weapon goes down, I am not going to transition to my secondary. I'm not going to switch this airsoft pistol. Why? Because I have cover. And in my opinion, I'm better off just going behind cover, fixing the weapon, getting the gun back up, and then re-engaging the target. The only exception to this I can think of would be if the target was in the open and I had cover. That's a really bad day for that target. So rather than give them the chance to get to cover while I'm reloading, then I would transition and engage them, but only if they're relatively close range, like 15 yards. Bottom line is, this is just a lot more effective than this. Now, that's because this is just a base model gun and this one's upgraded. This one's much higher FPS and blah, blah, blah. If I was using a HPA pistol, then it wouldn't matter. Then I would just, because that's every bit as effective as far as range goes as this gun. The only other time I use my airsoft pistol when my primary runs out is when I have to clear a very, very tight corner. Let's say I don't know, it's a closet with a little jog in the corner or whatever. That is the only other time I would transition to my pistol, simply because it's easier to get this short-barreled pistol here and maneuver in those really tight spaces and engage targets than it is to do that with obviously this long gun. That's the only other time I could possibly think that I'm going to prefer to use a pistol. So that's all I got to say about airsoft pistols and how I employ them. I know a lot of people try to get their airsoft pistol relatively early in their airsoft career, if you will, when they first get into the sport. But I would recommend it be one of the last things you get, because honestly, you're just not going to use it that much. First thing would be, you know, AEG, iPro, some magazines, stuff to carry them in, and a radio. After all that, then yeah, you might want to look at getting a pistol. But honestly, you're just not going to use it that often. So if you like my content, you want to support my channel, please check out my merch store at unsavorytees.com. Just go to Unsavory Tees, then go under Unsavory Army and look at Gunfather Milsim. We sell lots of stuff on there. T-shirts, patches, and Gunfather bungee slings, which I'm wearing here and demonstrating here. Go there, buy some merchandise. That stuff all supports my channel. YouTube really doesn't. I make tens of dollars making these YouTube videos. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I really enjoy it. But if you do like my stuff, please support my channel. And thanks for watching.